Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and there's a voice keeps on calling him down the road. That's where he's always been. It's
Howard Long.
Thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thanks to all of our lovely patrons on Patreon for putting money into this show.
Putting money in us.
And thanks to you for listening to this show.
You layabout.
We're back with The Last Olympian. It's part 9, and many, many things have happened. Most importantly, though, Samael, our hero,
Hooray.
is working for his brother Kafensi to bring equality to the world. And all he's got to do to bring equality to the world is have his eye and fingertips replaced and take over the identity of Mortimer Sykes.
And get a job. That's right.
So he's got to get a job, but in a sense he hasn't, because Mortimer Sykes already got one.
Yes,
He takes over Mortimer Sykes' identity
He's got to
and then
do
just
a job.
wanders into his life, right?
Yeah.
And he went to a station and got picked up by Bridget Astor, who is the
hot Smurf.
blue-skinned Smurf woman that he saw in a bar earlier on and immediately fell in love with, right? And that's where we left them, I think. He has successfully disguised himself as Mortimer Sykes with just a few bits of major surgery.
Yes.
And now he's taken over his life and doing his job. All right, so shall we get on with the episode then, Howard?
Yes, please.
So, Howard, how was your trip to Coville last weekend? You didn't tell me about it. Like, just going off on a little jaunt to sunny Coville for a whole weekend. We couldn't even record anything. It was like, oh, you ready to do some recording, Howard? I thought, no, I'm in Coville having a great time without you. Didn't even take me. Didn't even invite me to Coville.
Sorry, would you like me to get my TARDIS go back and invite you to come to Coville?
Hey,
and you'll
Rufus,
come?
do you want to come round my house and eat my coasters? Do you want to come round my house and eat my coasters? I've disguised them as biscuits. I've written digestive on them to make it even more difficult for idiots. I've written nice on my coasters, see if idiots will eat them. Come round and have an intelligence test at my house.
I mean, imagine if I did really like my coasters and decided to write nice on them, and more people were more convinced than ever that they were biscuits.
Of course, the biscuits have got nice written on them. What else has nice written on it except biscuits?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing else is actually nice, is it? So it'd be a lie. I mean, who has nice written on the coasters? No one. Yeah, so anyway, I'm a bit disappointed you didn't invite me around your house to eat your coasters.
You would be disappointed because, like, when I got to Coville, at some point the journey home, I passed through to a different universe.
Really? Okay.
And you're here now, so I mean, you were probably already in this one, so you might already know this thing about.
Yeah, this might be the first time we've met, strictly speaking. Right, until now, I might have known a slightly different Howard, and you knew a slightly different Rufus. We should do a little test in a minute and try and work that out.
Well, because I discovered something that definitely was not true up until when I went home to Coville last week. It would never ever been true ever before until I got to Coville. And
this is actually then this is the test, right? Because you kind of think think like if it was a memory test, then you'd ask me, and if I agree with you, then it's like okay. But no, now actually for your theory to be true, I have to disagree with you.
Yeah.
Right. I have to remember it differently because your theory is that you have switched into a different universe.
That's true. Yeah.
So my memory should be against yours because I'm from this universe, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not something maybe you would know about. I mean, yeah, you would know about it because I would have told you. Because what I discovered when I went home to Colville is that every Saturday, my dad, when he does the shopping, he also goes for a cup of coffee with a man called Greg.
All right.
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah, Greg. I was like,
Are you quite sure about this?
yeah, absolutely. I was like, what?
Okay.
Because I thought they said Gret to begin with. I was like, this is
fair
too
enough. And then-
crazy. But then it was like, no, not Gret. That would be insane.
No, that's not a name.
Someone called Greg. And I'm like, yeah. And like, my mum was like, yeah, he goes every Saturday. We're like, but
Hang on, quick question. Is Greg short for Gregory?
disappointingly, it's his real name's Graham. But nobody
Greg
knows.
is short for Graham. I was assuming you were going to tell me he was Polish or something.
No.
You know, like, or some country that has that name, but I've just never heard of it. But like,
Yeah.
actually, like in Russia, that's quite a common name, Greg. You know, you know. But no, you're saying he's just an English guy
Called Greg.
whose nickname is Greg.
Yeah. Yeah, and his surname's really nothing like it either. I can't remember what it was, but it was like Brown or something like
Greckington or something.
Yeah. Because that would have explained it, wouldn't it? Or Eck. If his name was Graham Eck, then it would have been like, yeah, Greg. There we go. That makes sense.
Graham Eck, yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, he goes every Saturday, and I was like, no, he doesn't, because I've been here a lot in my life and always go with him whenever I'm here. And
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so then it got retconned. It was like, then I spoke to my dad. It was like, sometimes he's not here. So he's never not. He's usually not here when I'm here. But
sometimes Greg doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Sometimes he Mandela's into a different universe, but then he comes back again. So what you're saying is that this, like, your dad's saying that he always goes and hangs out with Greg.
Yeah.
Could his idea of always be a bit shorter than yours? Could it actually
Yeah.
be just the last 3 months he's been doing it every Saturday, which seems like a long time to him? Like, you know, I mean, every Saturday for 3 months is quite a lot of just to see one man called Greg. but when you're there and they're like saying always, he always does that, you're like, well, that must mean at least since the last time I visited. But
Yeah.
actually, it doesn't even stretch back that far. Is that a possibility? Or are they saying, no, since you were a kid, he's been going out with Greg since you were 8 years old. We met at the school gates picking you up, me and Greg and his son, little Greg.
Well,
Greg Jr.
Well, he has known Greg since he was a teenager.
So
But no,
longer than you've been alive.
Apparently, Greg used to go for coffee with someone else from the old gang, but then that person passed away, and they were at the funeral. And he went like,
I'm free for coffee on Saturdays now because this bloke's dead.
yeah, I can go for coffee
Wow.
with you, Greg. And so a couple of years, I think, apparently. And I guess, I'm not there very often, but like every time I've been there, it's been the weekend, and I've always gone into Coville just for the hell of it, just to try and stave off the boredom, and then realise that it's just adding to it.
Yeah. What exactly did you think Coville was going to do for your boredom? Have a rubbish library, have some rubbish pubs, have a rubbish shop or two.
Well, that's it, because it's
full of weird people.
It's like
called Greg.
most places in England now. Like half of the shops are now charity shops. So I like to go wander through those.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's interesting.
But you don't really turn up any brilliant books, expensive books when you're in Coville, because people just read Virginia Adams.
Everyone's poor and basic in Coville.
Yeah. But yeah, so there you go. That's it. That's all I had to say. Was apparently my dad has been friends with a person called Greg his entire life, and I just found out.
Yeah. The thing that makes that dubious to me is that, like, no one's called Greg. No one has ever been called Greg, and
Yeah.
that's definitely made up, and
Yeah.
it's not true.
Yeah.
And clearly what he was doing a bit about someone called Greg, but then he mispronounced it and then just decided to go with it. He's like, oh yeah, my friend, and he was going to say my friend Greg. He was making it up on, he's not got a friend called Greg either, but he's just playing a little trick on you. Oh yeah, Howard, my friend Greg. Oh fuck, I said Greg. All right, and you're like, Greg, who's Greg? And he's like, oh wow. Greckington, my best friend, who I've known since we were teenagers. Yeah. But his mate died recently, and at the funeral, right? Greg was like, oh, who am I going to Greg my coffee with now? Who am I going to Greg out with on a Saturday and Greg a coffee with? Yes. And I was like, listen, Greg, I can Greg a coffee with you. I love Gregging coffee, and I haven't been able to because, I'm not Greg. So I'll join you every Saturday from now, and obviously now being 1987, until at least 2023, every Saturday, and I'll make a point of telling my son frequently about it as well. It's like, you made it up. There's no one called Greg. I would demand to meet Greg if I was you.
Oh, I saw Greg.
You did? Oh, fuck, so he is real?
He was
or someone's in on it?
Well, he was. I didn't meet him. He was like, my dad said you can come for the coffee if you like. I was like, no, I'm gonna go. No, I don't want to go for the coffee with Greg.
You want me to sit opposite a man called Greg and not just point at him and laugh? Come on.
But we pulled up into a car park and parked next to him. That's how it works.
What? And then didn't get out of the car and had your coffees brought to you like your Fred Flintstone at the drive-in?
No, I went off, and I guess they went for a coffee. The thing is, like, this is how their routine works: is that like if he gets to the car park and Greg's there, I guess they go for a coffee.
What? So it's always a coincidence?
Yes.
They go for a. He's saying they go for a coffee every Saturday by accident.
Well, no, this is like he knows that he goes for the coffee, and that's where it's like.
I'm not saying he doesn't realise he does it. Yeah, he knows he goes, but if they don't
in the
plan
olden
it,
days,
it's by accident.
It's like two old men that don't use mobile phones. So it's like, listen, if you're there on every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., we'll go for a coffee. So anytime he turns up, if he's there, it's like. If he's not there, then they don't go for a coffee, I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless he's got his inflatable Greg with him, in which case he does.
Yeah.
All right, so Samael has successfully taken over Mortimer Sykes' identity. And now he's going to a party with hot redhead Bridget Astor. Just a hot redhead who was there to meet him at the train station for some reason. Hello, I'm the hot redhead that the company provides. We give you an apartment and a hot redhead to every new employee. Because Howard's writing it.
Yeah, I wonder why she was meeting him. That seems like the job of a chauffeur, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's her job? I mean, what is anybody's job? What is her job at biotech? You know.
She seems like a comfort lady, doesn't she? Cut to exterior Basilius Rex's mansion night. A massive Edwardian structure lit up with more fairy lights than a respectable person should own. Right, hang on. Why are the number of fairy lights that a person owns related to their respectability? Right? Like, what is the number at which point your fairy lights make you not respectable anymore? I mean, it's a massive Edwardian structure lit up with more fairy lights than a respectable person should own. I think what you're saying is that this person has too many fairy lights.
He's got a lot of lights.
Maybe that's like it's it's extravagance because he's got so many fairy lights that it's actually costing him a lot in electricity to run them, and therefore he's rich.
Yeah,
whereas a
it's
respectable
decadence.
Person should only have like maybe 150 fairy lights, and any more than that is just showing off. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you need all those fairy lights for? What are you illuminating?
That's
your
right,
gold? Is it illuminating your gold?
That's right, because they don't have anything in the slum town, do they? So I think that the reason that they don't have lights there is because they're using all the power to light Basilius Rex's fairy lights.
Yeah, that's why.
That's the kind of evil man he is.
In fact, yeah, because like in movies, you want representative imagery and stuff. You don't want to go into the full details of how society works and inequality and so on. You want one nice visual image that demonstrates these rich people are basically sucking the life out of the poor people. Yeah. And so what you have in the beginning, you should see Samael, in fact, should have one sad string of 25 fairy lights in his flat, right?
Yeah, coloured ones as well.
Yeah,
not white ones like Basilius Rex.
And he should, when he wakes up and does his whole like shaving, throwing his razor at the wall, pissing out the window thing, he should also try and switch his fairy lights on, but they should fizz and not work because there's no electricity going to it. But then at this point, we realise the reason is because Basilius Rex is sucking all the electricity into his house for his billion fairy lights that he doesn't even need. They're not even doing anything. It's just showing off. And then we get this picture of the inequality between the slums and the gold people, as they're
called. The gold people. Yeah, good. Like it.
All right, anyway, a horse-drawn carriage pulls up and Bridget and Samael emerge from within. I love how people emerge in your scripts really often.
Yeah.
Wow, he thought his pad was cool. Check this place. Oh, his new I thought you meant like he thought his room where he pisses out of the window and he doesn't have a bed was cool. But no, you mean the new one, don't you? Yeah, okay.
No, I mean his original one. Like he thought his 25 fairy lights that don't work were good. But look at this
guy's
billion.
got $1 billion.
And look at his beans, my God, so many beans.
Look at that.
He's got a swimming pool filled with beans and a bean fountain.
I tell you what they should have, right? If you really want to show off your beans, you should build a Christmas tree out of beans. So like
the tins or the actual beans?
A cone. No, the tins, right? No, it'd be difficult to using the actual beans to make an actual Christmas tree. No, like build up a pile of tins, but in the cone shape, then decorate it with fairy lights.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hang on, I've just worked it out. I've just worked out the rest of this, because we talked about how your bean analogy is good but doesn't quite incorporate the very rich, because you've got the kind of but it's particularly good to describe the middle classes, or the way middle classes think, and kind of the attempt to social climb and stuff, but it didn't really involve the mega rich. But I've just got it. Like, what's his name? Basilius Rex. If he has a mountain of tins of beans, then it's specially made just for him, and no one else has that brand. It's Basilius Rex brand beans, basically. And that's not because he owns a bean company and therefore you can buy them. He's paid someone a lot of money to make special beans just for him, out of gold.
Yeah.
Because that's how that works, right? You get bespoke, like personally made to your own specifications, unique things when you're mega rich.
Yes.
But when you're kind of like climbing middle class, you're like, ooh, I've got Waitrose beans. Look at me. And you're like, yeah, they're like 10p more. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
But Basilius Rex is paying £1 million per tin.
Fair enough. It's like pop art then, right? Because pop art seemed to focus on beans for quite a while, didn't it? And so, like, if you bought a picture of some beans...
Oh, that's good too, yeah. In fact, the rich don't necessarily have beans. They have pictures of beans.
Yeah, that cost a million times the price of a tin of beans.
And they can't even eat them because it's not about the food anymore to them. Yeah, no, that's pretty good, yeah. And not just pop art, but all kinds of art. Like art in the future, art is mostly painting beans because the rich have such an influence over what art is and what art is.
The richer
valuable.
the richer you are, the more paintings of beans you have in your house.
Yeah. And because in this future society, we don't know it yet, but time travel is a thing. People have got beans painted by old masters because they have travelled back in time and got Rembrandt to paint a tin of beans for something. Yeah. So this is my Rembrandt beans. Just went and got it yesterday. Paid him £1 million. He's rich now. So, Bridget strolls up to the door, which is bounced by two massive men. So two massive men are bouncering a door. That's what that says. I don't know what it means.
I mean, they won't let the door in the house. Which is fine, which is a good thing. I mean, normally doors just can't get in anyway because of the door frame.
Yeah. But this is quite a small door, but it's also a troublemaker. So they're like, no, go home. Some people are having trouble getting in, but Bridget strolls right up and they let her through. And Bridget says, he's with me. Samael follows her in. Interior Basilius Rex's mansion, lobby night. A huge marble entrance with a champagne fountain set between double spiral staircases up to a second floor. People are scattered about, hedonistically drinking.
Hedonistically drinking?
How do you hedonistically drink?
With your head. I just think like I understood what hedonistic meant.
Yeah, no, okay, you've nailed that. Yeah. I was having a lot of trouble trying to work out how because it's not drinking hedonistic substances or whatever. It's doing the action in a hedonistic way. But you're right. It means using your head rather than like I don't know, opening a hole in your chest and pouring it in, which is not a good way to drink.
Yeah. It's important to let the viewers know that that's how people drink in the future, just the same way we do. Otherwise, the director might see the script and be like, "Do you think people drink through their necks now?"
Yeah, but then I mean, the thing is, most people, if you said, how do people drink?" They'd be like, they wouldn't say with their head, they'd say with their mouth, right? So maybe what you're saying is these people have a funnel sticking out the top of their heads, and they're all pouring champagne in it.
Okay, so it's like that scene with B. Arthur from Golden Girls when she's in Star Wars Christmas Special. She pours drink into the top of the head of an alien.
Does she?
Yeah.
Wow. And isn't it interesting that this is the second time in this script that we've started talking about the Star Wars holidays?
Yes, I don't remember.
Yeah. Because early on, I thought it was probably right at the beginning, because it was when we first saw Samael, but he was under the bed, and it said his bed was lumpy, and then we went off on one about Lumpy from the Star Wars Holiday Special for about 20 minutes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, good times. People are scattered about, hedonistically drinking, drugging, and fucking, perhaps. Perhaps. Like, we're not sure.
No,
Maybe
it's just the name
are.
of someone.
Forward orderly queue, please. I know you all want to fuck me, Mr. Perhaps, but one at a time, please. Anyway, it says, people are scattered about, hedonistically drinking, drugging, and fucking, perhaps, like Eyes Wide Shut. Which is a movie, I guess, that I haven't seen.
Yeah, and in that movie, right, B. Arthur pours drink into the top of someone's head, and there's loads of people fuck Mr. Perhaps at the same time.
Okay, that is very similar. And Lumpy's there.
Yeah, Lumpy's there.
Yeah, okay. A jazz band is set up and plays by the fountain. Samael says, "This isn't possible. Where are we? There's so many lights, so many champagne fountains, so many nut things in chocolate stuff. It's amazing here." Bridget says, "It's Basilius Rex's place." Place or palace? Did a little joke there, did a little joke. "So you're invited? He's gold, more than gold. He's the president's son. We're silver." So Ian Rex is the president of Britain, and Basilius Rex is his son.
Yeah.
Okay. "He's a friend of mine." "Of course." "You want to meet him?" Samael thinks. "No." Thinks further. "Yes." All right, I'm going to have a go at performing this properly. So Bridget says, "You want to meet him?" "No." "Yes." There you go. I think I got that thinking across pretty well.
Well done.
"Don't worry about making a fool of yourself. He'll probably ignore you anyway. He's very particular. I know you're worried about making a fool of yourself, because literally everything you've said since I met you has been foolish and stupid. And I think you're a fool, and you've done nothing to allay that idea. But don't worry about it, because he will ignore you because you're pointless. And I'll tell him to." Cut 2. Interior Basilius Rex's mansion, smoking room, night. Dark varnished wood panels and wooden floors. The windows have folds of cream material hanging.
Ooh.
Basilius is here, smoking an elegant cigar. An elegant cigar. What's an elegant cigar? It's like swan-shaped, right? It's swan-shaped cigar, isn't it? He's got like his beak in his mouth, and he's lighting its tail. He's smoking an elegant cigar with a bunch of poshies. That's what he's doing. Basilius Rex is hanging out with a bunch of poshies. Basilius is striking, for the main part, because he wears a half mask, which runs in something of a diagonal, covering the area around both eyes. So he's the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Covering the area around both eyes, and really only revealing his left cheek and his chin. So I think I have to be suspicious about this character, right? Because he's got a mask on. So
Right, yeah.
presumably he's going to take it off later and turn out to be his own sister.
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
Agree. Firm agree, yeah.
Through the mask, his eyes are saucer-like. Blue and penetrating. Do you know what I've never described a saucer as being? That's a very penetrating saucer you've got there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
No, I wouldn't say that either. What is a saucer anyway? That's what you put milk
Something
in
you
for a
put your
cat,
teacup
right?
on.
Yeah, okay, right.
Also that, yeah.
I suppose you could have a blue saucer. Maybe penetrating's just an afterthought. They're like a saucer, blue, full stop. Penetrating.
I think actually it's meant to be three separate things. There's no Oxford comma, so it's not clear, but you've said his eyes are saucer-like,
Yeah.
blue, and penetrating. It's actually three separate things.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
that saucer-like, therefore, then explained by the phrase blue and penetrating. Like that. That's what saucer-like means.
What does saucer-like mean then? Just massive and big.
Massive and big. Saucers are famous for being massive and big.
Massive and big.
Like,
They're
that's
not that
when
big,
you have
are
a
they?
cup of tea. Can you bring me a cup of tea on like a 3-meter plate, please? Is that a thing I could do? No, of course not. Get out of my cafe,
Yeah.
you freak.
I guess I was thinking in terms of like in comparison with your head, you know, not compared to a cup of tea.
His eyes are not saucer sized.
Yeah. But his apparently are. So he's got huge saucer sized eyes that are blue.
That are blue and penetrating.
Yeah.
But what are they penetrating? We don't know.
His head, probably. I mean, like that's where eyes generally go, right? My eyes penetrate my head.
Yeah, my eyes are penetrating my head all the time. Yeah, true, absolutely. Yeah, okay. The mask is moulded to his face quite tightly. It is bone white with touches of ornate silver work. It gives nothing away about his feelings.
Silver?
Yeah, because masks don't, do they? Masks don't like just change their expression when like you feel sad. Oh, I'm feeling sad, so my mask looks sad.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a lie anyway. If he drew a smile on it, you wouldn't assume he was always happy.
His attire is similarly bright white. One gets the sense he does not like dark colours. Yeah. In his person, he is effete and gesticulates with a limp quality. He plays the buffoon, but underneath the facade is another story. He's not a buffoon.
He's a baboon. That's why he's wearing a mask, to hide his hairy gorilla face.
Hello, my name's Basilius Gorilla.
Everybody.
Gorilius Rex. My name's Gorilius Rex. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I meant Basilius, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't take my mask off. No, I'm not hairy. What are you talking
the
about?
country find out they're being ruled by a monkey, they won't be happy, so he has to wear this mask at all times. Only one corner of his face is on display, and it seems strangely hairy.
But yeah, it is the bottom part, so it could be a beard, right? You could pull that off, I reckon. If you were a gorilla.
Yeah.
If you were a gorilla, you could pull that off. No, the beard. There's a beard, don't worry. All right, so he has near him at all times 2 bodyguards.
Oh, yeah.
Imposing, thick-set necklace types.
Necklace types? They like...
Necklace types.
Necklace.
Yeah, he's wearing them around his neck.
Yeah.
Lord Greenhorn, a 70s-something with a young black girl on his arm, has approached Basilius to introduce her to him. Basilius stares. And he says, "What? I'd rather shake hands with a leper colony than touch bronze." Touch bronze sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? Greenhorn says, "No, she's silver. She's not. She doesn't look silver, and if she is, she's very filthy, dirty silver." So this is him being racist, I guess, right?
Yeah.
He's assuming because she's black, she has to be
Bronze.
low class. Basilius draws close to her and sniffs at her.
Smooth.
"Oh, she stinks as bad as she looks," he says.
Yeah, this is supposed to be like a harrowing and scary scene, but you've somehow managed to make it hilarious.
Oh, shit. I mean, it's not written... I mean, it's offensive and horrible, but it's not written very scary, because he's just too quick and direct about it. It's just all like, "Oh, she doesn't look very filthy. She's right, filthy, dirty. Oh, she's a right smelly one as well. Bye." You know, and you've said he's got this effete, limp quality to him. It's not going to be scary. It should. I agree, it should be. It should be terrifying.
No, it's fine. It's good. I like it.
She runs away, knocking somebody's glass to the floor. As she goes, it shatters. Greenhorn says, "Darling, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know who he's calling darling, his partner or Basilius, who he's still standing with, right? "And now the floor is danger zone for my friend's china white little footsies."
What?
My friend's china white little footsies. The floor is danger. It's got broken glass on it, hasn't it?
Right.
Because it's danger zone for my friend's china white little footsies, because they're all walking around barefoot. "Thank you so much for making my house resemblant of a pigsty, Greenhorn."
Pigs famously breaking champagne glasses in their sties, aren't they?
Absolutely. You can't walk around a pigsty without getting your little footsies in danger.
Yeah.
He stares at Greenhorn, who is meek and confused. Greenhorn says, "Oh." Eventually, with everyone watching, Greenhorn stoops slowly and begins to pick up pieces of glass.
Okay, right.
Basilius says, "You fumble, you fawn, and you go on your knees. They have cleaners in this world, Greenhorn. Some are paid for their work, yet others, it appears, pay for the privilege. And while the former is... That's a very long speech I'm doing. And while the former is surely preferable, neither position is something to aspire to. We are the mess makers, white, rich, and of no moral fibre. This is a very on-the-nose speech I'm giving here. I'll tell you what, do you want to know what I am? And probably you are as well. I am white, I've got a lot of money, and I'm a scumbag as well. No moral fibre, get out, you're tainted. I can smell the shade on you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nasty. That was nasty. But I feel that the nastiness was mitigated a little bit by how badly it was read.
Wow. So now I'm feeling the shade. I'm feeling the shade now.
This script so far, I've been enjoying it a lot, but I feel like Basilius' speech there could have done with some cutting.
No, I think it should have been longer.
Everything else has been perfect.
I know. So he started like by the end of the speech, though, he had turned into Harry H. Corbett.
I could feel I wasn't doing very well at the voice.
I mean, is that why you really object to the speech? Is that like the longer he talks,
I couldn't do it. Yeah, I found it was getting a bit rubbish halfway through when I couldn't do it anymore. the writing was very bad when I was doing it badly. Yeah.
Now get out of here, Greenhorn, you dirty old man.
Greenhorn leaves pathetically. The hubbub recommences now that the show is over. Having missed all this, Bridget approaches with Samael. Bridget says, Baz. She uses a nickname. And Basilius says, Bridget, darling. So he's happy to see her. Mm-hmm. He suddenly changes from a racist to a devoted and besotted lover.
That's what it says.
Those two things. That's what it says. Those two things are not necessarily contradictory. I mean, you can be both those things.
No.
You know.
No, you can't. He can only do one thing at a time. he's got his head twist round, and he's got another mask on. And this mask's smiling. He had his racist mask on before.
He could take his racist mask on, and underneath, like it says racist on it, and underneath it says devoted and besotted lover. Yeah. I tell you what, actually, you remember how we had a lot of problems in Forget Me Not, and I think we've come up against it in this script a little bit, of you writing like what they're thinking, and there being just no way of representing it on screen.
Yeah.
Writing stuff on someone's mask could be a solution to that.
Agree.
Like if it, on his mask, on one of his masks, it says, "I am thinking about my dead mum." He suddenly changes from a racist to a devoted and besotted lover. They kiss.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. So Bridget is sleeping with a racist.
Ooh.
Samael looks surprised, jealous, etc. Hungry. Tired.
Yeah. Gorilla.
Bridget says, "This is Mortimer. He's a new puppet of yours." Uh-oh, Basilius is his boss. Really? At Biotech? It's not Sykes, is it? Sykes? Yes, thank Nick you're here. Thank Nick you're here. Is he thanking Satan?
No, I think he's thanking Saint Nick, right? Santa Claus again, right?
Okay, it's either Saint Nick or it's Satan. And
old Nick.
So far, I mean, he's already said that he's got no moral fibre, and maybe it's because he's a Satanist and he knows that, you know. Thank Satan you're here. Very. Thank Satan you're here. The last chap was a dickwad in the banalist extreme. Can you mix me something with a bit of a bang? Also, Samael is...
Oh, shit.
So...
What, is his mixologist?
That, or he's just another... He's got the same job, like drug dealer, right? Or drug creator, because that's what actual Samael did.
Yes, of course.
So
maybe that's why
is Mortimer like the same job but for rich people? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Does Mortimer have the same job but for rich people? Okay.
Yeah, I forgot it was about drugs. I just thought it meant a cocktail. He's going to make him some serious brain bandy then.
Yeah. I can make primordial soup. That comes with a big bang.
No, joke.
Basilius says, "Toss off. Nobody can. You're lying. No, go on. Show me."
This is going to be amazing to watch. Imagine this scene definitely. As he pours different drinks into a glass.
Yeah.
I suppose that's what the movie Cocktail was. I don't know. I've not seen it, but I guess that's...
No, me neither.
Everyone found that really exciting. It's probably because Tom Cruise was hot in it.
Yeah, hopefully. Because if I want to watch someone mix drinks, then I could watch myself doing that and then drink it.
Yeah, and I won't even bother mixing
Probably
up.
watching it on...
Yeah. If I watch someone pour me a whiskey, then I can watch myself do it.
I'm going to watch Tom Cruise mix up a drink that I'm not going to enjoy because it's got too much fucking fruit juice in it, and then not even be able to drink it. And I still haven't got a drink at the end of it. I've been watching him do this for ages. Samael rubs the fingers of his right hand to see if they're working properly, because he's just had them replaced and they've still got stitches in them.
Okay, yeah.
Samael says, "Very well. but it may get a little messy. And Basilius says, I wouldn't have it any other way. Samael grabs an unopened bottle of champagne. No, it is drinks. He is talking about drinks. Aims at a glass some distance away. He hits it and it shatters. Samael says, that's a pre-bang. People clap. People clap. Okay, so he is doing cocktail then. This is absolutely, but with more violence. Bravo, Sykes. The cleaners are going to be demanding double pay at this rate. Samael swigs from the bottle of champagne. Then he slowly unbuttons his jacket. His hand moves to his drug belt and opens a few pockets, so it's a combination of drink and drugs. Then begins to add different drugs to it like a master chef. You know how master chefs often put drugs in champagne. Or, I mean, like a master chef also, he's putting pills in a bottle. What master chef does anything similar to that?
Maybe it's what he's doing aside from that makes him like a master chef. Maybe he's swearing at people really loudly.
Yeah, while wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. When he has finished, he places the bottle on a table. Everybody is uncertain what is supposed to happen next. Suddenly, the chemicals react and the champagne shoots from the bottle, showering people who are too close.
Brilliant.
The bubbles are red like lava. People scream with glee. When the froth has died down, he takes a champagne glass and pours a glass. He proffers it. Basilius motions to another guy, Copernicus, who takes the glass.
We were right about them, like going into the past and bringing back people then in the time machine.
I just got Copernicus to paint me a picture of some beans. I think I got a little confused. Apparently he wasn't an artist at all.
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, that would still be valuable. If you were like, this rubbish painting on my wall, fucking Copernicus did that. So, Basilius motions to another guy, Copernicus, who takes the glass. Everyone watches. He pauses for effect and then swigs from the glass. Copernicus waits to see if anything is happening. All of a sudden, his face changes to a ridiculous grin and he begins to sway. Wow. People clap and cheer. Basilius says, "Is it bendy?" Is it bendy, Copernicus? Tell me, is it bendy? Quick, I need to know if the drink is bendy. And Copernicus goes... Copernicus has lost the ability to speak.
Brilliant.
And has found a sudden fascination with the fairy lights and plays with them, oohing and ahhing. He's a movie drug person. He's someone high in a movie going, "Hey man, look at the thing that's next to me." It's just because the writer probably just went, let the actor get excited about it. Just leave it to the actor. Oh wow, look at these colours, man. Look at this lights. Look at these stars. And you know what? I think maybe the Earth goes around the sun, dudes. Right, that's just an idea I'm suddenly having. Now I'm so high, I'm starting to think maybe the sun doesn't go round the Earth after all, man. Shut up, Copernicus, you fucking idiot. Basilius says, "Sykes, we are going to be fast friends. Come along, let's go to the games room." Basilius leads Samael and some of the guys away. The bodyguards follow. Samael beckons Bridget, but she politely shakes her head, a hint of concern behind her eyes. And then she is lost in the crowd. Okay, so Samael has met the president's son, Basilius Rex, and made him a very bendy drink. Cut 2, interior Basilius Rex's mansion, snooker room night. Basilius, Samael, bodyguards, and cronies enter through open double doors. In the centre of the room is a snooker table. To one side of the room is a bar with drinks et al.
Ooh, it's so posh. He's probably got a pinball machine as well.
Yeah, definitely. A couple of old arcade machines, like retro arcade machines in there, yeah, definitely. And on the other wall hang various weapons, swords, knives, and pistols. However, they do not stop here, but continue to another set of open doors at the other end of the room.
You're definitely going to go to the Pac-Man room now, right?
Interior, Basilius Rex's mansion, corridor, night. Leaving the snooker room, they travel a long corridor. I mean, I feel like they travel as two were a long corridor, but surely it's they travel along a long corridor, and also they don't travel, they walk. Anyway, they're in a corridor, okay? They pass a few drunkards heading the other way, back to the party. This corridor seems to go on forever and becomes less decorative, less pretty with every step. Oh, wow. No. So there's something spooky happening. It's just like it keeps going on forever and then it's getting less decorative, like he's leading him into another world or something. Hang on. Next sentence is interesting.
That's what make a change.
Beneath its glamorous veneer, there is ugliness. The house is like Basilius himself. That's fascinating. Like, I like the idea, but I can't imagine how you do it. Do you mean because we're seeing the corridor change? It's like we're seeing what would be underneath the lovely decorations. Because it's all been made up for the party, and it's got like things hanging against the wall, so you can't see how actually.
Yes.
It's not that it's well decorated over there and badly decorated here. The whole house is rubbish, but he's covered it up for the party. Is that the idea? Okay. And then that's a metaphor for...
It's like the Mystery of the Golden Bus when they go to that service station hotel with the casino in it. It's behind the curtain there's a crack, isn't there?
There's a crack because behind the veneer... Yes, behind the glamour, beneath the glamorous veneer, there is ugliness.
Yeah.
And this time, it's not just something that you thought that'd be good. This time, it is a metaphor for your character.
Yes.
It's representative of his character.
Yeah.
It's representative of him because the house is like Basilius himself. He has a glamorous veneer, but underneath that mask, he is ugly.
Yeah.
It's not figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
Literally ugly.
Yeah. Because it's about his mask, isn't it? It's not about the fact that he's a bad person. It's about the fact that he's a bit of a
you're right.
mentor.
I remembered halfway through that sentence that he was wearing a mask because at first I thought it was like, no, he's acting like he's dressed up, he's all posh, but actually he's an ugly person. But no, you mean he's actually ugly.
Yeah. Which is the worst thing you can be.
As they go further, Samael begins to hear sounds of cheering. They reach some stone stairs. Interior, Basilius Rex's mansion, stone staircase, night. They travel down. The cheering... I tell you what, for someone who, in most scripts, wants to not use walking or movement words more than once, in this one you're using travelling just a lot.
It's beautiful.
Anyway.
It's having a resurgence, I used to use it and then I stopped. It's come back.
Anyway, leaving the snooker room, they travel along a corridor. They travel past a few drunkards, travelling the other way back to the party. But no, I love it. It's such a wonderful affectation to just go, do you know what? I'm going to use the word travel in a way that most people don't. And I'm going to do it often. It's brilliant. It's idiosyncratic. It makes you unique. It's like a calling card in your writing, which is, a good thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, they travel down the stairs. The cheering grows louder. They reach the bottom and emerge into a vast stone chamber. Interior, games room, night. This is where the pinball machine is. The sound of the cheering and the heat and testosterone comes over Samael in waves as they enter. So there's waves of testosterone in this basement. That sounds quite disturbing. This is not your atypical games room with billiards.
Yeah, no, it's like atypical billiards room. Yeah.
I think you meant to. I think you've just accidentally hit the letter A there, because surely it should be, this is not your typical games room with billiards, right? Because this is not your atypical games room, for a start, is a confusing sentence. But then to say either way with billiards, what the fuck is billiards? Is billiards typical or atypical for a games room? I have no idea. It's just kind of maybe halfway through. It's neither.
Yeah.
No one feels that strongly about billiards, do they?
That's why I put atypical, because I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm on about.
But what it actually says is, oh God, this is going to be horrible, isn't it? Oh no, this is going to be horrible. All right. So this is not your typical games room with billiards, however, rather a white man's torture chamber. What must have once been a vast wine cellar has now become a fighting arena, and the noise echoes loudly off the stonework. Now, this is something I've seen in movies as well. In fact, I've seen this in the TV show, the Buffy spin-off Angel, right? But with monsters instead of poor people. Long stone steps, or rather seats, like an auditorium, descend to a large metal cage which sits in the centre. Inside the cage, 2 big black men are fighting to the death.
Wow.
They have knives and seem evenly matched, one in red pants, the other in blue.
Wait, they're just in their pants.
Yeah. I mean, probably. I mean, if you're like, the thing about movies, you're like, well, this is a scene with people. Like, they're not going to say anything, right? They're not going to be characters. So all we're going to do is we're going to get 2 big, good-looking, like, fit men and put them in their pants.
Yeah.
That is exactly what would happen in it. If you hadn't said it, someone else would have done. They're like, right, these 2 big black men, can we make them really good-looking and put them in their pants? Is that an option? Right, okay, let's do that then.
So you're saying this scene's eye candy for the ladies and the men?
No, because I'm saying that it doesn't matter in movies. It doesn't have to be for anyone. It doesn't have to be like this is a titillation scene. It can be horrifically violent, and that's what it's about. But they'll still employ hot people and make them semi-naked.
Yeah,
right? Like, it doesn't matter if they have the option of employing hot people and taking their clothes off. That is what will happen, no matter how disturbing the scene might be.
Brilliant.
All right, so. A large pack of whites, mostly male, are gathered around in their tuxedos, ties loosened, cheering. You may dress a man in smart clothing, but this does not a gentleman make. Ooh. Little bit of philosophy there from Howard.
Thank you.
They have to shout to hear themselves.
Hello, me! Me! What do I want?
A drink. Yeah, I mean, I think what you mean is each other, because it's talking about Basilius and Samael, not the men watching. You're saying they have to shout to hear each other, right? Or to be heard.
Yeah, sure.
Basilius says, "What do you reckon, Sykes, red or blue?" Hiding his shock and distaste for what is going on, Samael makes a racist joke.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the thing is, he doesn't exactly.
Does he?
No, yeah. All right, so a rabbi. It's like, no, Samael. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to join in. To be honest, I had no idea where I was going after that, because I'm not a racist, so I don't have all these preconceptions about rabbis, so I had no ideas, really.
A rabbi.
I've just got a vague impression of how racist jokes work, right?
Yeah,
I think that's one of them, right? I don't really know.
I mean, this scene would be so much better if it was 2 rabbis fighting.
All right, so no, Samael. What Samael actually says? I mean, obviously, there's a racist implication to what he says, but it's not on its own a racist joke, which is a relief, because I thought he was going to do a kind of, an actual kind of like set up and punchline racist joke, which was going to disturb me. But what he does is he makes a racist comment, or he makes a comment. He says, "What? Okay." So Basilius says, "What do you reckon, Sykes, red or blue?" And Samael says, "What's the difference?" I suppose. Oh, I didn't get it. I suppose it's because he's suggesting. He's saying that they look similar because they're of a similar shade. Right, yes. Okay, I get it. I didn't even pick up on that. Okay, so Samael does say something racist, absolutely, and is a racist, but he's pretending, so that's fine.
He's pretending to be a racist.
Okay.
Because
good.
I always pretend to be stupid, because it's like are you asking me what the difference between red and blue is? Because it's a considerable one. Are you colourblind?
Yeah, I suppose that's where it becomes a joke, isn't it? Because obviously he can tell the difference because they've put them in red and blue pants because they're all racists.
Yeah.
All right, I get it. Okay, so actually the script is correct, and Samael did make a racist joke, and I was wrong. Basilius's lips curl into an unpleasant smile, and he slaps Samael. No, hang on. I've got to read this properly. I'm often when you miss out words or like make spelling mistakes or leave letters off, I just kind of correct it as I go, because there's no point. Yeah. This is a first draft. There's no point drawing attention to to it, but this is actually good. Basilius's lips curl into an unpleasant smile and slaps Samael on the back.
Yeah. Could you
Right,
do
so
that
that's
then, please? The
that's-
actor playing that part.
That is some impressive lips Basilius has got. I think what it should say is Basilius's lips curl into an unpleasant smile and he slaps Samael on the back. He joins in with the cheering. Red pricks Blue in the shoulder. Basilius says, "Touché!" Seeing Basilius so intently focused on the knife fight, Samael leaves his side unnoticed and walks around the cage to the other side. All around the cage, people jeer and cheer at the fighters. There are even women in evening dresses screaming for blood. Samael is repulsed by all he sees. And round the other side of the cage, other bronze citizens are chained up and ready to fight, male and female. They sit silently aware of their fate, with little hope of survival in their eyes. Oh, no. He feels ill and ducks through a curtained doorway. So at this point in the script, Samael finds Shin. You remember Shin from earlier, who ran away into the gold zone?
Yes.
And unfortunately, we've decided not to include this scene because he finds Shin basically being tortured.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a bit much. And in fact, she's in such a state that she asks him to help her die. And him being the hero of this piece, he does by giving her...
does so.
Immediately does. He says, yes, of course, immediately. But he does so by giving her loads of drugs.
Yeah.
And then we get back to the script. So, cut to interior games room night. The fight reaches a climax. Blue has Red on the floor and slits his throat. Okay, Blue, the fighter Blue, has the fighter Red on the floor and slits his throat. A huge cheer goes up from the crowd. People begin exchanging bets, ciggies and pills, etc. Okay, so the people who won are paying up, I guess.
Yeah.
The people who lost are paying up, probably, actually, rather than what I said, which makes no. But hey, it's future dystopian world, isn't it?
Yeah. You won, you loser.
Give me all your cigarettes and pills. Basilius looks over. Basilius saw Samael go into the place where Shin was, right?
Yeah.
So now he's going after him to find out what's happening. So with intent, he begins to make his way through the crowd, and his bodyguards move after him. So it looks like Basilius is going to catch Samael murdering people, basically. Interior torture chamber night. Samael stands over Shin. He closes her eyes. Unbeknownst to him, Basilius has entered. One bodyguard stands near the exit. Basilius says, "What are you doing, Sykes?" Samael turns. Basilius moves slowly forward to examine Shin. Oh, I see she's dead. I killed her. Basilius turns from his inspection. Kinky. Uh-oh. Samael squares up to Basilius and stares hatefully at him.
Ooh.
I didn't fuck her, Basilius. I just put her out of her misery. Basilius stares back. Finally, Basilius speaks. His effete quality suddenly evaporates in favour of something more dark. Right, this is gonna be testing for my performance ability, but here we go. I'm gonna do it.
Hello, everybody, it's me, Batman.
My mother died from the virus, Sykes, giving birth to me. Half my face is missing because of it. You think I find all this fun? It's an image, my mask. Keep it a game for people to stop them feeling guilty. But I feel none. Like you. We are similar, you and I. It's good that you killed her. One less fucking poor person. Come, the stench is unbearable. Yikes, what a villain. Exterior Basilius Rex's mansion, garden, night. A vast garden overrun by nature. Colossal statues covered in ivy tower into the clear night sky. Samael and Basilius stand in the moonlight smoking. Like they're on fire. Further off, the bodyguard stands smoking too. Well, why not? If you're going to set fire to two rich people, might as well set fire to their bodyguards as well. Elsewhere, they can hear partygoers giggling and talking, but they are quite away from the house. Basilius says, "My father is dying, Sykes. It will come to me to address the symposium. And what shall I tell them, these suits from abroad? When I stand in front of them and say the virus is still a threat, they will not believe me. It will only hold them off for so long. I thought he was supposed to say it isn't a threat anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's a mistake or not. When I stand in front of them and say the virus is still a threat, they won't believe me. So they'll be like, no, I think it's fine. No, I think the virus is fine now. We're all coming back to your country. It will only hold them off for so long before they demand to run tests of their own. It is our country, by Jove, and yet these pseudo-whites think they can wield their hammer of political correctness over us.
Wow.
That track, some awful right-wing murderer just using the phrase political correctness without really understanding what it means or it making any sense in context. That is believable, absolutely.
No, it's a very believable script on the whole.
Samael says, and is it a threat? Basilius lifts his hand to his face and pulls off the mask, revealing the sorry mess beneath. Rather than scarred flesh, there is a lack thereof. The skin is missing, revealing his muscles beneath, and in some places his skull is visible. So he'd better hope Higher Grant is not at this party, or he's going to be in trouble. He looks like an exhibit from Body Worlds. I don't know what Body Worlds is. It's got a capital letter like it's a thing. We cannot forget, will not forgive, and in the end, inevitably, it will mean war. We will not do as these frogs and Swedes demand. It's weird that he only used one slur then. Because, Swede, although it's a vegetable, is not actually a slur against Swedish people. We will not do as they demand.
Really? Oh, damn it. What can I say to all those Swedish people?
I wonder why they were so relaxed about it. You know what you are? You're a Swede. Yes. Oh, damn it. They always agree. They will try and apply their laws here by force. The irony, of course, is the poor people will be fighting the war for us. Yeah, that's generally true, isn't it? Bridget has appeared through the undergrowth.
Ping.
I figured I'd find... Oh, well, question. She should totally say at this point. Yeah. Breaking the tension.
Oh, no, Basilius Rex, question.
I figured I'd find you here, talking politics, I presume. They turn. Bridget flinches ever so slightly at Basilius's face. Oh, yeah, she's sleeping with him, right?
You told me you were a gorilla under there. You lied to me.
Basilius places his mask back on. Come inside. It's cold tonight.
Your skull will get chilly.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat down to every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you'd like more, so much more, by us, if you'd like immediate access to days and days of audio and video entertainment, then you can get it for as little as $2 a month from patreon.com/manbycow. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye, milk.
Bye-bye, milk.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.